So I finally got a job. I'll be working 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and I'll be in Grandview, which is kind of a cool area to be in. And I will say that I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. It's been a while since I worked, and I don't know, it's going to take me a while to get back into the groove of that. But I want to tell you guys a little bit about the job, what I can, and also about some concerns that I have. Now, I have been, I have not worked, unless you count Lyft and Uber, I haven't worked since October 11th. So about a month and a half. I can't remember the last time that I have not worked in this long. And my sleep schedule's messed up. I'm a little worried about that because I got to be down there at 8 a.m. and I have a 2-hour bus ride to get there. Uh, I'm also a little concerned about how it's going to affect my finances. Now, obviously, I'm to a point where I've spent a lot of my savings not being employed. I just started getting unemployment. That was a huge battle. Um, I think I have one more week of payment coming for that. And then there is also the question of when would my first payday be for this job. All right. Now, to give you guys an idea, when I worked at my old job, I worked, I believe it was 36 or 38 hours a week. I think it was 38. Uh, and in that, I was considered full time, so I did have benefits and all that stuff. Now, with this job, it is 40 hours a week with an hour lunch break each day, which is nice. I'm used to only having half an hour, and that's a real rush. Um, so I'll have an hour lunch break every day, and I get weekends off for the most part. Now, I do have to, I think, work one Saturday a month, but that's fine with me. Um, I'm used to working every Saturday, so we'll figure that out. Now, my problem, though, is the pay. All right. Now, I don't want to seem ungrateful. It even pays more than my last job. But let me lay this out. So I worked 38 hours a week at my old job at $14.75 an hour. All right. So that is at base rate, whatever that is. I'm not doing that in my head. This job is 40 hours a week, and it's $15 an hour. So I'm making 25 cents more per hour, and I'm working 2 more hours per week. So yes, that will give me an increased base pay. Now, there are some things that I'm worried about with that, though. Number one, that's not very much more than I made before. And I was very much struggling before. Um, and there's one big key piece of my previous job that this one does not have, and that is a commission and bonus structure. So I'm basically just going to be paid flat per hour. I'm not going to have the opportunity to make any more. And I got to the point, especially over the summer and this fall, where the only way I was able to pay my utilities was with my commission. So that I haven't quite worked out yet, how that's going to work. The second issue is commuting. So I will have to take the bus. Now it's, I think, $62 a month for the bus pass, but that also gives me a 5-hour round trip bus ride to get home, so that's not pleasant. Especially when it's going to be dark when I leave, dark when I come home. Honestly, I think that's not going to help my depression any. The only bright spot of that is that I will be, close to downtown, close to stuff. I could potentially, go walk around Target after work, or I could get some food or something. I don't know, something that I don't have the opportunity to do living out here on the edge of suburbia. So maybe that would be a little bit of a silver lining to it. Here is what scares me, and it's transportation related. When I did my first interview, they told me that was totally fine that I didn't have a car, that I would be set in that office, so totally fine. They didn't care that I didn't have one. However, when I went into the in-person interview and I interviewed with the owner, he said that he understood I didn't have a car and that was fine for now. But fairly soon, I would need to get one because part of my job is traveling around to these different sites. Had I known that, I wouldn't have gone to the in-person interview. But I also really needed the job, and he seemed to understand that it would be a little while until I got one, so I said okay, and I took the job. this puts me in a really bad position, guys, because in order to continue working at this job, I have to get a car. Now, I was stuck in a place before where I didn't have a job to go get financing to get a car, and I had to finance a car or lease a car because I didn't have enough money saved to go buy something that was decent. I did go look at a few in my price range. They were barely operational. They're not worth spending money on. They wouldn't last me more than a month or two, if that. So here is basically what is going to have to happen. Now, if any of you have any other ideas of how to make this work, please list them below in the comments, because I need help figuring this out. My plan is this. I have my offer letter, but I don't officially have a signed version until when I start Monday. I'm going to take that offer letter to a car dealership, and I don't know if it's going to be like a buy here, pay here, or if it's going to be like a leasing option through a dealership, or if it would be like CarMax or something like that. I've always paid cash for cars, so I don't know what I'm doing here. I have my car that I can use as a trade-in. I don't know how much I'll get off of it because it doesn't start, but the body is in good shape and it's 10 years old, but it does have 190,000 miles on it. So I'm not sure. I have determined that as much as I love my car, it just will cost too much to fix. I mean, I can get a decent, good shape running car for like $5,000. It's going to cost like $7,000 to $9,000 to do everything that this one needs. As much as I love it, it's just financially does not make sense. So with that said, I'm taking my offer of employment, going to get a car financed, but that's going to add a big payment. Now, if I put down the down payment of whatever I've saved to get a car, plus trade my car in, from the calculators I've looked at online, that's still going to be like a $400 and some a month car payment. Now, this would be easily taken care of if I was able to drive for Uber and Lyft. I could just drive and make up that payment in the month. But I can't drive for Uber and Lyft because it's registered to the company that I'm leasing it from, right? So I won't have the registration in my name in order to register it with them. And also, it's probably in their terms of service that you can't use it for rideshare. So that leaves me with having to find a second job of some sort for evenings or weekends or something where I can make extra money to pay that off. That in itself is scary enough. But what's even more scary is that I have some other payments coming up. I just signed up with a payment plan with Navient to get on their rate reduction program again. I have to pay $255 a month. It comes out on the 15th every month. So that's another huge expense every month, right? And then I'm paying for stuff for Mom. I've got to pay for her attorney. It's a $1,000 retainer and $500 a month. So, yeah, like, I don't know what to do. It's tough. I mean, obviously, the options right now are either I take this job or I don't work, right? But the money that I get from unemployment, it would be $1,240 a month. Well, I can't pay my rent and my utilities and eat off of that amount. So, and then of course, if you're on unemployment, any money that you make, that money is deducted from your weekly benefit. So I'm kind of stuck. I'm in a really bad place. And I don't know, between the two options of either continuing to not work and continuing to liquidate things and take money out of savings to try to get by, I can do that, but I know that that's not sustainable. How long is that going to happen? And then how long would it be until I get another job offer? You guys know my track record. It's not real often that I get a job offer. So I think my best option is to take it. And by taking the job, then I'm able to go get a car. Just once I get that car, I have to figure out how I'm going to make a car payment for it. That's going to be an issue. Because if I don't find something right away, I'm screwed. my plan would be to pay the car off ahead of time, as long as there's not a penalty for that. And then I would then use it for Uber and Lyft. Not full time, but probably just like Friday and Saturday nights, and make some extra that way, which would then pay off my loan payments, hopefully. So that's where I'm at. If any of you have any suggestions, please leave them below. You guys will see how this turns out, because as my paychecks start rolling in, you'll see it in my end of the month budget reviews, and see how it's working out for me. See if I'm still, bleeding red every month. This should help that a little bit, but I know it won't help it completely. But I'm just trying to make the best of a bad scenario. That sounds wrong, but yeah, I'm just trying to make the best of it right now, and I do think that this will be kind of a chill, laid back place to work. I think that aspect of it's pretty cool, and I think that I'm probably going to want to stay there for a long time because of that. But I've just got to find a way to make the money work, because it's rough. So if you guys have any suggestions, please leave them down below, especially if you're in the Columbus area and can hook me up with a part-time job after work. That would be amazing. Otherwise, I have a lot of videos that I'm trying to get up here, and I have pre-recorded. It's taken me forever. YouTube keeps demonetizing all of my videos as soon as I upload them. So then I have to go through the appeals process, and it takes anywhere from like a second to a week or more to get it overturned. So as they get monetized, guys, I will make them public and make them so you get a notification for them. Otherwise, there will be a lot of videos coming your way, and it's up to YouTube whenever they decide to monetize them, when they will go up. I should have a lot of content for you through the rest of the year. Make sure you watch the end of this month, my budget review, because this is going to be the weirdest budget review month ever, because from the beginning of this month to the end of this month, so much has changed that my budget's going to be all out of whack, so it'll definitely be interesting. And next month will be the first one with the new paychecks from the new job coming in. With that being said, one last thing before I forget it. There is one other huge negative about this job, and that is that they don't provide health insurance. Now, I understand that for a full-time job, that's no longer a requirement because of the Affordable Care Act, and it's sort of separating, in the American mind, employment from health care coverage. And I'm fine with that, but what I have an issue with is that when your employer, in every case that I've heard of, when an employer does not provide health care coverage because they no longer have to, they provide you a stipend in order to cover it. Now, I have not had health coverage since the beginning of November, and it's because I can't afford it. I did apply for the state medical card. I think I'm going to make a separate video about that, because my experience with ODJFS in Columbus is a nightmare. But let's just say I don't have health care coverage, and I don't know what to do about it. I know it's open enrollment right now for the healthcare marketplace. I looked at the prices. There's absolutely nothing I can afford. Even the cheapest plan that has like a $7,000 deductible, I'm just like, yeah, I guess I'll just die. I mean, yeah. And I do absolutely think that should be an option too. If I choose not to have health care because I can't afford it, that should be an option. And I shouldn't have to pay a penalty for it. But, that's not the case. So, anyway, I'm an independent thinker. So anytime I get into a political issue like that, I'm probably just going to piss off both sides, because I probably don't agree with either side. So I'm expecting some unsubs from that. But otherwise, guys, I'll just have to see how this works, Between requiring a car and having to find health insurance somehow, man, I don't know. That's going to be my whole paycheck. So, I don't know if anybody out there can hook a brother up. I appreciate it. Alright, so we'll see how this goes. keep following me this month and next, and you'll actually see my finances and see where things are going with that. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll have some more videos whenever they get monetized. And it should be quite a bit of content, probably around 2 videos a week up through the end of the year. I'll see you guys later.